Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Since the beginning of mankind engaging in combat, there's been an understanding of the need for transportable food. There's the old adage about an army marching on its stomach or something like that, and I've said over and over again on this channel that good food is good morale. But unfortunately, when you're in a mobile type situation, there's not always the opportunity to set up a full kitchen and cook for hundreds of people. So the need for each individual soldier to be able to carry his own food supply became very important very quickly, starting out with things like hardtack and dried meats, dried cheeses, portable soup, things that were easy to keep up with and relatively lightweight. And then advancing to where we are now with the meals ready to eat. Somewhere in the middle of all that, there was an amazing creation called the C-Ration. The C standing for combat. While not terribly lightweight, they did get the job done when it came to having prepared food at the disposal of the troops. A lot of people today look back fondly on the C-Rations, even people that were forced to eat them on a daily basis. Unfortunately, now there are generations of people who will never have that fond memory of C-Rations. When I was a kid, my dad was in the Navy, and it probably inspired my choice to do the same after I got out of high school. When we lived in New Orleans, my dad was assigned to a unit that trained PT boat crews. They would go out on the weekends training for combat scenarios, and my dad had access to C-Rations. Occasionally, he would bring them home to us, and as kids, we thought these were the greatest thing on the planet. To this day, I still have a lot of nostalgia for those things, and I really miss some of the flavors and the things that were in those kits. The ones that remain are not really guaranteed safe to eat nowadays, and nobody's really making those same recipes anymore. So I decided, out of just sheer nostalgia, that I was going to build my own modern version of the C-Ration. So I went to my local Walmart because I figured they would probably have the best selection and the best opportunity for me to get the closest things to the original C-Rations. And therefore, let me proudly present to you the Dad Budget Adventures C-Ration Menu CWM1. I've had several comments from viewers about doing a C-Ration, and here we are. I had so much fun picking out these items and putting this thing together, and I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised at least a couple of the things that are in here. I've also brought along some of my favorite vintage Navy surplus items that I've had since I was a kid. So before we get too much further into this, let's tear open this box and see what's in this homemade C-Ration. The first of my vintage items you're going to get to see is my Navy utility knife. This thing I've had since my dad gave it to me when I was about 8 or 9 years old. Yes, it was a very different generation back then, but this thing has never done me wrong. I absolutely love this piece, and I have it with me every day. It rides in my car with me. In the event that I ever need the right tool for the job, this is usually going to fit the bill. Absolutely love the way this thing's built and everything about it. So we're going to use this to cut into our C-Ration because this is the perfect tool for the job. So if you're still watching this video and you have any knowledge of C-Rations and you think you know what might be in here, stop right now, go down to the comments section and drop a comment and let me know what all you think is going to be in this kit. And at the end of the video, let's see who's right. When I went in to get the items for this C-Ration, I grabbed the things that I remember as being my favorites. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of you that know about these things probably have similar feelings about these items. So to start things off, I put together an accessory kit that I want to show you. A lot of y'all have commented on my videos saying that I need an MRE style accessory kit. Let's tear this open and see what all's in here. First thing in here is one of my bamboo sporks. I didn't have any MRE spoons, so I substituted one of these. Remember, this is a modern C-Ration. We're not necessarily just duplicating the old stuff. To go along with that is something you guys keep saying I need to put in here. Who knows what that is? If you know what this is, drop me a comment and tell everybody about it. Also in my accessory pack, I've got an MRE issued moist towelette. Now, some of these things that you're going to see in here are very clearly from actual MRE kits. I went onto eBay a while back and I looked for MRE accessory items, and I was able to buy a bulk pack of just the accessory items that come with an MRE. I've thrown a lot of those in here, such as good old standard MRE matches, a pack of salt, and a pack of sugar. To go with that sugar, I've got 2 packs of instant coffee. I chose the Taster's Choice variety to put into this kit. I've also got 2 packs of creamer. And last but not least, I've got a 2-pack of Chiclets gum. Did I forget anything? There may be something missing here, but I don't know. So the first thing that I want to do, I need to boil some water for my coffee. And because I'm going to use the same cooking system to cook my meal, I want to go ahead and get that coffee going. The next part of our nostalgic cook system is going to be my USGI Canteen cook set. This is a canteen and set that I've had once again since I was a kid. The great thing about these is if taken care of, they last forever. So we're gonna get this out. We're gonna get some water going for this coffee. Let's get this poured up in the official Dad Budget Adventures Bling mug so that we can get our coffee going. We're gonna add both packs because we're gonna make a strong coffee tonight. Gonna add our sugar and both packs of cream. You know, this knife has been such an integral part of my life. It went with me through Boy Scouts. It's been with me through so much stuff. I consider this an heirloom because it was something that my dad gave to me, and I will probably give this to one of my kids at some point. I'm just not ready to give it up yet. Do you have a piece of military gear that means a lot to you? Something that maybe was a family hand-me-down or just something you bought early on that you still use to this day? If you do, tell me about it. Leave me a comment. I love hearing stories about how things like this bring up great memories. So I think our water's ready to make our coffee. Stir this up. And now we're going to set it aside for a few minutes. So while we've still got a little bit of fire left in that Esbit fuel, let me show you what we've got for our main. Reaching into the box, we have unmarked can number 1. Like I said, there's a lot of nostalgia to this, so I wanted to make sure it was in a plain, unmarked can. But what I got for my main was, of course, spaghetti and meatballs. I don't know that any main from C-Rations has the fond memories that the spaghetti did. Now, this isn't, of course, the exact spaghetti that was used. I really wish there was a company out there that was using that recipe because it was really good spaghetti. But we're gonna open this up and we're gonna pour it into the canteen cup and get it on the fire so we can have hot spaghetti. All right, so let's pour this up. Get it on the fire. And while that's cooking, let's go in and see what else we've got in this kit. Our next item is a side, and this is one of those things that's very popular with some audiences, not so much with others. It's something I haven't had in a long time. I kind of got away from eating stuff like this. Every once in a while, I kind of like to go back and revisit it, and that is this potted meat. I honestly don't remember which version I bought. I wanted to get away from stuff that I knew I had and find something I hadn't. So I picked this one based on that. So we're gonna try that one out and see how it is. Potted meat in C-Rations was very common. It was an easy thing to get and had a long shelf life. Next is the one food item in here that I did not get at Walmart. I couldn't find anything like it with a good shelf life and the right kind of packaging. Since nobody makes affordable packaged crackers or bread anymore, I threw in a pack of these snack time crackers. These will go with that potted meat, and there may even be some extra left over to go with my spaghetti. I would have loved to have put canned crackers in here. That's another one of those fond memories I've got from the C-Rations. The crackers just had this really unique flavor to them. I'm gonna go ahead and use these because I don't have anything else to use. I did come across what's called pilot crackers that are in a tin, but they are ridiculously expensive. And I'm not really looking to do that just for this meal. Next is another one of those nostalgia items, and I very specifically went after this because this is another one of those things that I have vivid memories of having in my C-Rations as a kid, and that is canned peaches. I was so glad to see this small can of peaches when I was selecting my items for this meal, so I have a feeling this is gonna bring back some fond memories. The great thing about peaches is, of course, you get that sugary flavor, you got the juice that's in here, and you've got the extra vitamins and things that go along with eating some fruit. No, it's not fresh fruit. It's probably sitting in a ton of sugar. This is hard to beat when you're looking for that extra little taste of home. The last item in here is our dessert item, and I went back and forth with a couple of different things that I wanted to throw in here. I know a lot of C-Rations came with hard candies or some kind of chocolate like a Tootsie Roll or something, and a lot of C-Rations, especially foreign C-Rations, come with a energy coffee candy. And I came across these while I was at Walmart and thought this is the perfect dessert item to put in there. And that is these Nudge Coffee Rounds. It's a tin of candy, which is perfect for a C-Ration. And the fact that you have that coffee and energy and everything that goes with it in this little canister, this was the perfect way to round this out. There is one more bonus item that I'm not going to show you yet. So stick around to the end of the video to see what that is. And if you've got a guess, leave a comment now and tell me what you think, because it's something that was pretty standard in C-Rations, but you haven't seen it in this video. So tell me what you think that is, and at the end of the video, I'm gonna show you that. So while we're waiting for our spaghetti to cook, we're gonna dig into this potted meat and crackers and see if it brings back fond memories or it makes me wanna throw it in the trash. Let's open these up and let's break into this. Honestly, don't know how to feel about this potted meat. It is something that I stopped eating a long time ago because I kind of got to where I didn't like it. You know, when you're a kid, you eat a lot of stuff and then you get a little bit older and you start questioning what it is you're eating. But for the purposes of this video, I picked this up just for you guys. Whew. Oh boy. Yep, that's the potted meat I remember. There's that smell. I think that's the worst part of potted meat is that smell. Because a lot of times the smell is nothing like what it tastes like. Oh. Ooh, that's powerful. All right, so just so I can say I did, let's give this a taste just out of the can. Like, I know things like this are a favorite for some folks. I get a lot of people suggesting putting Vienna sausages in my meals. I stopped eating Vienna sausages a long time ago, and I do not miss them. It's not great. It's not horrible. It's kind of somewhere in between. If I were starving, yeah, this would work. Not starving, it's not the greatest. But let's couple it with one of these crackers. See if maybe this buttery cracker helps a little bit. There we go, down the hatch. The cracker helps a little bit. There is so much salt in this though, that it's very overwhelming. You really have to like salted meat for this to hit home. I'll have one more just because it wasn't horrible. It's not enough to just make me go, nah, and get rid of it, but it's definitely not something I would buy out of preference. Cheers, guys. All right, so let's wash that down. Let's try our coffee. See how this turned out. 2 packs of Taster's Choice with a pack of sugar and a couple packs of vanilla flavored creamer. And it smells good. It smells quite nice, in fact. It's not an overwhelming weird smell like that vanilla bomb coffee I had a couple videos ago. So hopefully it'll taste better. Let's give it a shot. That's pretty good. It's a little on the bitter side because I use so much of the Taster's Choice coffee. It's a pleasant bitter. It's not that harsh bitter that I got with the other coffee. And I'm not saying the name of the company for a reason. I got a lot of negative feedback on that. That's a pretty good coffee drink. With the creamer and the sugar, it very much makes it like a coffee drink that you would go get some barista to make. It's just not as fancy. But I like it. That's good stuff. All right, so let's pop into our canned peaches. See what we've got here. Canned peaches are one of those things that I think most people really like. As with anything, there's always going to be naysayers, but it's one of those things that even little kids will eat. So it's always a good selection for something like this, especially if you've got children and you might need to feed them. I kind of feel like this entire meal would be great for kids, except for maybe the potted meat. I don't know if they eat that. So we've got slices of peaches, just bite-sized. Smells like canned peaches. This is happy food. All right, let's give it a go. These are sweet, but not overly sweet. They have a good flavor. They're not overly soggy. So, funny story, when I was a kid, I got really sick one day after eating peach-flavored Jolly Ranchers. I mean, I had been eating them like crazy that morning. That evening, I got violently ill. To this day, I can't stand peach flavoring in anything. Love peaches, but I will not touch anything that is peach flavored. It makes me want to erp. But these, those are good. So we've only got a couple of things left in our homemade C-Ration from Walmart. One of those being our entree. If this spaghetti out of this canteen cup doesn't bring back memories for some people, I think your memorizer might be broke. But there we go. There's that wonderful canned spaghetti. I mean, that smells like childhood right there. I think everybody's got memories of being a kid and eating Chef Boyardee canned spaghetti. If you know something about C-Rations, what entree do you miss the most? What do you wish you could find again, exactly the way it was back then? And if there are products out there that you think I should use for another homemade C-Ration, leave me a comment and let me know what they are, and maybe I'll build another one of these if that's something you guys want to see. All right, let's give this a taste. I think one of the things that I liked more about the canned spaghetti that came with C-Rations versus the canned spaghetti that you get now was it wasn't quite as watery and saucy. I seem to remember it being a little thicker. It had more substance to it, and it wasn't this kind of watered down sauce. You know, it was of course the same overcooked noodles and stuff. That's just part of the process of putting pasta in a can. So while these may not be the most practical meals when it comes to things like camping or backpacking, for emergency storage, these are great. And the fact that you box them up the way I did this, they're easier to stack. The MREs, those are hard to stack. You kind of have to stuff them in a bin somewhere and then you get what you get. But with the boxes, you can stack these things up nicely and you'll have a supply that you can get to when you need it. And they'll probably be good a lot longer than the pouch food MREs. Here's one of the meatballs. I think the meatballs are another one of those kind of love-hate relationship things. It's either people's favorite thing about this or their absolute least favorite thing about it. Personally, I like the meatballs. I know they're not, 100% meat, but like I said, a lot of fond memories of this. Let's wash that down. So that brings us to our dessert item, our Nudge coffee rounds. One of the things I like about these is the tin that it comes in. It's got a screw top on it. This is resealable, so you can eat a handful of them and put the others in your pocket and take them with you. It kind of doubles as a walking around snack. That's interesting. They look like really weird colored M&Ms. Take a look at that. They have a very rich dark chocolate smell to them. I have a feeling it's that combination of chocolate and coffee that really kind of comes across with that dark chocolate odor. There's a little bit of a dusting on them, probably just to keep them from sticking together. But let's give these things a try. It's got to smell like a cup of rich coffee. So I'm really anxious to taste these. Kind of see them there? It's like M&Ms with kick. Here we go. Well, that's interesting. So at first they taste very much like an M&M. They have that same mouthfeel to them. You start chewing on them and you're tasting the chocolate, but on the back end and on the back of your tongue, there's that coffee bitterness. It's not a bad bitterness at all. It's just that taste of coffee. Those are really good. If you've never had these, give those a try. Nudge coffee round. This is the Brazilian Reserve. It's a medium roast. I know they have a couple of other flavors, but I highly recommend giving these a try. If you're a fan of coffee, or even if you're just a fan of really rich chocolate flavor, give those a try. It's not like a chocolate-covered espresso bean or something like that that just really has that hard punch of coffee flavor. It is somewhere between chocolate and coffee, and I think even people that are not giant coffee fans will probably like this because it has that flavor of an extremely rich chocolate. Glad I picked those out. All right, and last but not least, for those of you that grew up with C-Rations, you probably have guessed what was missing from this and why. And because I don't use or condone the use of the original product, I kind of got a little substitute for it. One of the things that used to come in C-Rations was cigarettes. Since I'm not a smoker, I don't like smoking. I'm not gonna hold it against you if you are a smoker, don't get me wrong. I take a lot of relief when people in my life tell me that they have stopped smoking. As a substitute for the cigarettes, I picked up candy cigarettes because I didn't think a C-Ration would be complete without the ability to have your little stick at the end of it. And of course, in today's day and age, these are no longer called candy cigarettes. They are just called candy or candy sticks. They're no longer red on one tip. It's just a white stick. But the fact that it comes in what looks like a cigarette box, that's kind of funny. But I do love that these are victories because that is absolutely what C-Rations were meant to inspire. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and hit that notification bell so you can be made aware of all upcoming videos. If you're enjoying this content, let me hear about it. And if there are places that you can think of where I haven't built a homemade MRE, be sure and tell me about it. I may not have it in my area, but I do travel a lot. And when I'm out, I do try to find places that I've never been before. I've got some really cool stuff coming up, some really fun projects. If you guys enjoyed the romantic MRE for 2 video with my wife, and you want to see more of her, let me know about that. Also, we are working on the MRE charcuterie. We are hard at work on that. I'm loving the suggestions that you guys keep giving me on what I can add to that. If you haven't seen it, go check out that video and then let me know what you think. But that's a wrap for this one. And until the next one, prepare for the world that you live in, not the one you wish existed. We'll see you around.